gets to drive the 13 Mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing. Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing. Got myself, Roger Brehm, and Al Pearce with Autoweek Magazine with us tonight. Autoweek. Oops. Smack my hand.
Right there.
Smack my hand. Did bad.
No, that's all right.
Okay. I'll just have to make it up later. Well, what'd you think of the weekend?
I thought Jimmy Johnson took a great step forward to winning the championship. Denny can win all the races. Well, not all of them. Denny can win on occasion, and if Jimmy keeps finishing top 2 or 3, like he's done in the first 2 chase races,
right,
there's not much anybody can do about it. Hamlin had him covered Sunday to the extent that I think everybody knew from about lap 50 on they were racing for second. He had been fastest in all 3 practice sessions, screwed up in qualifying. Otherwise, he would have swept the weekend. He'd have been fastest in all 3 sessions. He would have won the pole, and he clearly won the race easily. So, he thinks he's on a roll right now. But the 48 car is awfully steady. It can be hard to beat.
Is this too bright for you here tonight?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. We're playing around with our new studio we're setting up here. Make things easier on everybody. Walk in, sit down, turn on, and go to work.
That's not bad.
And I still have.
Now, where's your pretty little assistant that I've been talking to recently?
At church tonight.
Well, that's good. That's okay.
She has a church thing on this Wednesday night.
And she took her pretty mom with her.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm stuck with you.
That's right. You're stuck with
See,
me. Tommy was supposed to be here too, but
okay.
He's still not sure if he can make it yet. He was trying to get done with his job he was working on.
But the chase, I think we've talked about this for eight or 9 years now. The chase will not really take shape until probably after Talladega. Drivers can wreck and crash. There can be problems in any venue we go to or they go to. But Talladega seems to be the one place where more things happen to more people. So I think whoever comes out of Talladega in pretty good shape, barring some catastrophic failure later, Talladega I think will be the race that sort of sets the tone for the rest of the week of the chase. Dover's this weekend, then Talladega is round 4, then Charlotte, Martinsville, Kansas City. They go on like that, but I think Talladega is the place where we'll get a real good feel for who's still in it and definitely who's out of it by then. And right now, the Roush cars aren't doing very well. Junior's not doing very well. Gordon, bless his heart, poor guy, wins a pole, leads laps, runs great Sunday, and only picks up 2 points. So you got to figure that Gordon's pretty much, if he does that every weekend and people still finish ahead of him, it's not gonna do him any good at all. So Gordon's in a bad spot.
Well, I mean, the points are still close.
Well, they're close, But each week they obviously spread out some. And at some point you'll realize that, okay, Gordon is now, say he's 30 behind with 5 races to go.
Right.
That's not going to do it. He's not going to make it. Your boy Tony's still in it pretty good.
10 points.
I mean, obviously Hamlin's still in it. Obviously Johnson's still in it. Obviously. Kane's still in it. He had a pretty good run Sunday. Kozlowski, yeah, he's still in it. Boyer's still in it. But as the chase goes on, the teams that have never been there or have not been there consistently enough are going to find that the chase is a different deal than the first 26. And the cream will definitely rise to the top. And I think it'll be Johnson.
Good deal. I still want Tony, but you know.
Well, I know you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the points up there. I don't know if you can see that far.
I can't see that far.
Well, you got a laptop to use this time.
Oh, okay. I know that Johnson's on top and
Yeah,
Kozlowski's
Johnson,
second
Kozlowski,
and
Denny,
Hamlin's third.
Denny, Tony,
Tony's
Casey,
fourth.
Clint, Dale, Kevin, Greg, Truex, Kenseth, and Gordon.
Gordon, yeah. I would say right now that Gordon's the only guy that's in serious trouble. The others are just maybe in slight trouble. Where do I find that page on this computer here?
All right. Click the third icon from the right.
Right there?
Yep. Once it comes up, just go to NASCAR.com.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. You may talk a while I do this.
Okay. Now we have news that Allmendinger is now let loose and finished his stuff up. And
Clear to go. Yep.
you've got Kurt Busch losing his ride, going to Front Row Motorsports.
Well, no,
now.
he didn't lose his ride.
Well,
Regan Smith lost his ride. Kurt Busch is
took over.
taking his ride.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
And rumor is that we may see Dinger taking over where Kurt was.
I don't know about that. I think right now a team would be a little bit. I think a team would be a little bit risky to take him back immediately. And I don't know whether Allmendinger would take a ride like that. He might. Allmendinger might think that he can get a better deal in Indy cars.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm trying to find something here, and your machine's not letting me do it.
Where are you trying to go? Just to NASCAR?
Yeah, when I move this,
Oh,
it all moves.
that's a. Oh,
Anyway,
if you look over to the right, you got this little section here. You stay away from there because that's a quick up and down. Just go over that way. See how that moves? Just go out to this area when you want to do
oh, okay.
move your mouse.
Okay. We'll be with y'all in a second. Just hang in there.
We're just teaching.
Okay. Oh, I don't want this silly superstore. But anyway, I think it will not be long before Allmendinger may end up in an open wheel ride with I mean, Roger Penske has not ruled out putting him back in an Indy car.
Right.
Because the guy was a terrific IndyCar driver. He was a far better IndyCar driver than he was stock car driver. He won a bunch of IndyCar races and just never quite got the hang of NASCAR. He had a couple of decent runs. I asked Chip Ganassi the other day whether his organization, I said, not that you need a driver, but if you did need a driver, would Allmendinger be one of your possibilities? And he tap danced around it a lot. He said, we had him in Nationwide Series for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, my decision on whether to hire him for my Cup car would depend a great deal on what I've thought about him. Don't worry about it. I'm not going. He said a lot of it would depend on what I thought about him when he was a Nationwide driver. I said, well, what did you think about him as a Nationwide driver? He said, my decision to hire him or not would be dependent on what I thought about him as a Nationwide driver. I said, okay, I understand that, Chip, but what does that doesn't tell me what you thought about him as a Nationwide driver. And he looked at me very carefully and said, whether I hired him or not for my cup car would depend largely on what I think about him as a nationwide driver. And I said, oh, okay, I think I understand what you're saying. He said, well, it took you long enough. So the idea is that Ganassi doesn't want him. I don't think Petty would take him back. Obviously, Roger's not going to take him back in NASCAR. Allmendinger could get a park and start ride, which wouldn't do his career anything. He could drive for one of the front row teams, Taco Bell or that crowd with David Reagan and all those guys. That won't do his career any good. So what he might want to do is just get an open wheel ride, go IndyCar racing, kind of rebuild his career and come back to NASCAR in maybe 14 or 15. What are you doing?
I'm texting our drivers
Oh, okay.
their time schedule. I'm listening to you.
Okay. Well, I was hoping you might have something to say also.
Well,
Or am I expected to carry the whole show?
no.
Oh.
I'm trying to set all this up. Like I said, we wound up being a day behind schedule, so I was still hadn't had a chance to text the guys and say, oh, by the way, because we're going to have Fain Skinner calling in from the Nationwide Series.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We're going to have a guy named Luke Whitteker. He is from Ontario, Canada. He races up there.
Okay.
And we're also going to have Joey Coulter call in at the end of the show.
Okay.
So, got some guys.
Isn't he the guy that got bumped into by Kyle Busch last year in a truck race in Kansas? I think Coulter is the guy that inspired Richard Childress to take a poke at Kyle Busch.
Possibly.
I think that's him.
We can always ask.
Yeah.
Yep. Dinger, he could. He could wind up going into trucks for a little while too.
Well, he's got to serve some time. In effect, he's got to rebuild his reputation. He's got to rebuild his racing resume.
Right.
I think the one thing we can agree upon is that Allmendinger's situation from the very beginning has not been anything like Jeremy Mayfield's situation. I mean, the fact that Mayfield is still suspended and still out of racing speaks volumes about what he did, and Allmendinger being reinstated so quickly, relatively so.
Went and did what he needed to do, and
did what he did and got back. I don't think anybody's ever accused him of using methamphetamines or selling them or anything else like that. I think his reputation was briefly dirtied up some because nobody knew exactly what was wrong or what drugs he had used.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when they figured out that it was apparently an inadvertent use of a prescription drug with an over-the-counter drug for whatever problems he had, and that showed up positive, I don't think anybody felt like he was trying to do the same stuff that Mayfield was doing.
right.
So he got reinstated pretty quickly.
Let's talk racing.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, doing pretty good, Fain. How you doing tonight?
Yeah.
We have on the line with us Fain Skinner, driver in the Nationwide Series. Fain, since you're first time calling in here, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of a bio about yourself for the people that are listening, and we get to learn something about you.
All right. My name's Fain Skinner. I'm Live Oak, Florida. 7 years old. Married, have twin boys that are 2. I grew up, racing. I started racing go-karts when I was 9 and had pretty good success in that. Won a couple national championships and had an awesome time doing that. I learned a lot. And I started racing super late models down here in Florida when I was 15, and I won some big races and a couple championships. And I just never really got the shot, a good opportunity to do the NASCAR stuff. And so I got a good sponsor, and last year I was able to do that. And last year I ran 4 nationwide races, and my best finish was at Dover. I finished 23rd there. That was probably the best run I had. And I ran the ARCA race this year at Daytona, finished 15th, and I had a pretty good run going until I got in a wreck. So, and then I actually ran at Bristol, had a pretty decent run there, and got in a little altercation and spun out and finished 27th. And the last race I ran was at Atlanta, and I just had a bad weekend there. We lost the motor on like lap 10. So, we're looking forward to doing some more stuff this year. Just whenever sponsorship's available, we take advantage of it.
Now, what'd you think of Bristol?
I like Bristol. I actually ran there last year too, and last year was a lot tougher than it was this year. Going back there for the second time, you can really just know what to expect when you get there, and not really concentrate on the track as much as you do, going faster. The first year I went there, it took me the whole race just to get used to the track, and going back there the second time, it's just like getting back on the bike and riding. I love that place. The first time I wasn't real familiar with it, but the second time going back, I had a blast.
Okay, does that give you more of a feel, at least at that track, for doing the short track racing that you normally would be doing?
Yeah, it's definitely, it always helps when you get to run on short tracks. These cars are so different from I use a super late model. It's a lot lighter, and you can just stand on the gas and drive those things. And those squad cars, they're heavier, and they don't really respond. You can't really use the throttle a lot to make the car turn, and you just kind of slow down all your motions. It took me a while to get used to it, but it's kind of hard because I only get to race when I have sponsorship. So something in a Bristol this year, the last time I raced, was at the ARCA race at Daytona. So
Shift it.
when you get stressed out like that, it's kind of hard. It's kind of like starting all over. Then we got to get to Atlanta, and I was just really excited about that. So that's the first time I actually got to do back-to-back weekends in nationwide. So we just had a horrible weekend. We were off from practice. One big qualifying and hard to move up on 10 flat. So it was just a bad weekend, and it's tough when they're like that, but that's part of it. And I have to say that my favorite track that I've been to was Dover. I really enjoyed that place. I wish I was racing there this weekend, but it could be put together.
Cool. Now, what have you got going on? You going to be doing any more racing this year in the Nationwide Series, or you got some other things you got lined up?
Yeah, we actually have some races picked out, and I'm working on right now, and can't really mention anything able to do something to not be able to. So if it does work out, you'll see me pretty soon back in the Nationwide Series. I don't really know. It's all about sponsorship to me right now. Of course, I don't have a full-time deal, but we're all working on it pretty hard for next year. And, hopefully we can be able to go through with more races. If it wasn't, Carpool Empire.com is my main sponsor. They back me so much. I mean, there's people that, big teams call them all the time, want them to help them out. They're just so dedicated to what I'm trying to do. I can't thank them enough for that.
Okay. Now, you can tell us. We won't tell anybody.
Well, actually, if it happens, I'll know in a couple days, and I'll send you a text, and you can announce it if you don't mind doing that.
Oh, that's no problem. We'll let everybody know. Also have with me Al Pearce from Autoweek Magazine. I don't know if you've ever had the chance to be able to talk to him or not.
Fain, did you say you're from Live Oak, Florida?
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
If I'm not mistaken, the answer to a great NASCAR trivia question also is from Live Oak, Florida, I think. I think the question might be, who was the first driver to replace Richard Petty in the 43 car? And if I'm not mistaken, isn't Rick Wilson from Live Oak, Florida?
He's actually from somewhere in Tampa, to be honest with you. He's not from Live Oak. I actually do know Rick, though. His son, Travis, he got a chance to race with him down here in Florida. And Rick's a great guy. You can ask him anything you want, so he'll give you the best advice.
Okay.
I'm not really positive on that. I don't think he is. I'm sure if he was, I would definitely know about it because there's not many races around here that make it.
Yeah. You're in that area west of Jacksonville, in between Jacksonville and Tallahassee, over in that northern part of the state?
Yes, sir. We're actually right in between Jacksonville and Tallahassee. It's an hour and a half both ways. Yeah, so I don't know if you've ever heard of Lake City.
Yeah, not far from Lake City. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know where you are. Yeah, I know where you are. But I thought Rick Wilson's from there. Maybe not. Okay. Now, are you going to Dover this weekend?
No, sir, not. We're so worried. Like I was saying, that's my favorite stuff. Of course, I just get the hunting this weekend to go up there, but it's kind of right now we got to pick and see what we do, and we got to pick some races. I need to get more mile and a half experience because I've only had a little bit of that. I ran Homestead last year, or attempted to run Homestead. Got crashed on 6 laps. Didn't get much seat time there. And then we went to Atlanta with my second mile and a half and blew up on 6 laps. So I haven't had to do a look on a mile and a half so far.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Are you on a speakerphone or your cell phone or what?
I'm on a cell phone.
Okay, I just wonder because it does little weird things every once in a while.
Fain, one of our favorite topics around here is
Dover.
no, not Dover. One of our favorite topics around here on Wednesday nights occasionally is Danica Patrick, and I am of a great opinion that she is 90% style and maybe 10% substance, maybe 85 and 15. I don't know. She gets more attention for having done less than almost any race driver ever has, and I understand that it's a marketing thing. Have you raced around her? Have you been anywhere near her often enough to realize whether she can actually drive a stock car, or is she simply a marketing tool that happens to have a decent ride and is not doing very much with it? What do you think about that? And believe me, you're not the first one we've asked, so nothing you say will probably be new.
Yeah, and basically, I think she had some trouble qualifying when I ordered it, and I wasn't very good in qualifying either. So we actually started, I think I started right behind her or something in qualifying, and I raced with her for a little while, and she didn't do anything that, jumped out at me or wasn't doing anything wrong. I mean, I've had more stock car but it was like racing anybody else out there, but she does have the best stuff out there. And I think she's run better than what she does, but I don't tell you what race she's in. It seems like she's not under a whole lot of pressure. But I can't say much for her. I've never met her, I never said 2 words to her, but I know if I had the opportunity she has, I think I would concentrate more on where I need to run before I try to be on the biggest, and try to win more races where I know I have the best equipment out there. Not racing against Tony Stewart and Brad Keselowski. I'm racing on guys that's on my level, and I don't think she's racing tough, but she might go up there and win the first race. So, I don't know.
My opinion is that if you watch her carefully, which I do almost every weekend, she will find herself a comfort zone where she's 5 or 6 car lengths behind somebody and she's 5 or 6 car lengths ahead of somebody, and unless she can effortlessly go up and pass somebody, she's not going to race hard. She will hold you off if she can, but she'll let you go if you pressure her. And generally, she will finish about where she starts. She seldom moves forward. Occasionally, she often moves back, but not often, not terribly often. And she seems to know where she belongs, and that's between about 15th and 18th, or 13th and 17th, somewhere along in there, almost every weekend. And if that's the best she can do with that equipment at this level, she's going to get her head handed to her next year in Cup, unless I'm sadly mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, definitely helps. You know, I mean, Junior Motorsports is one of the best race line teams out there. I mean, they actually, you know, they haven't won any races lately. I don't know if they've been struggling or what, but definitely has better equipment than Whitteker. But I will say that it's pretty tough out there. I mean, the equipment that I race in is, I mean, of course, what she has. I mean, it's good stuff, but it's not. You know, they spend a lot of money in R&D, and that's the biggest thing. When you get these races, get no practice time. You get 2 hours of practice. If you're off a little bit, then you just make yourself on the car. And in Atlanta, we were really bad in practice. I only got 2 laps of practice. So, you know, how you unload is too much plays in a race. So, where's the qualify that? You know, unless they figure out something in the race, you know, not going to make it up. But, I mean, every person out there is racing part of it. And no matter what position you're racing for, the guy that you're racing for 25th or 22nd, he's got the same equipment you do. And, I mean, believe me, you're fighting for every spot out there. Because, you know, you finish in the top 20, top 15. That's pretty good, you know, for that we run. And you know, it's tough. I mean, you know, you look at like Morgan Shepherd, that guy out there is just making it to the track and trying to do whatever he can with a little bit of money, and he'll race you as hard as you want to race for 25th position. You know, he just loves doing it. It's not easy. You know, I'm not down her. I think that, you know, she's got the best opportunity, you know, anybody out there. She should probably by now be a little bit farther than she is. But, you know, it's a tough situation for everybody out there.
Well, she obviously, I think we all know that she did not have that kind of sponsorship, and if she was not sort of a national media phenomena because of her IndyCar stuff, she'd be back there. She may not be as good as Joanna Long. I've had people tell me that if you put Joanna Long and Danica Patrick in the same equipment and let them race, you know, at the same venues, that Joanna will probably outrun her, will probably do better, because Joanna apparently is really highly regarded as a racer. Danica is regarded as kind of a I don't want to say a rider, because that's a pretty insulting term, but Joanna's a racer and Danica's a driver, if that makes any sense. So, I don't know.
Joanna's great. I've actually raced late models with her in Florida here, and she's from Pensacola. And, I mean, she won the Snowball Derby. That's the biggest super late model race in the country. And you can win that. I mean, you know, you should be able to go anywhere. You know, everybody should know you are at the racetrack when you win that race. And, you know, she definitely is the awesome talent. She deserves to have better than what she's got, I think. It's tough for everyone right now. The money situation is tough. If you don't have a sponsor, you know, you're not going to be out there.
Well, it's been that way since day one. I mean, since NASCAR got started in 1949, it's always been a deal where if you don't have a sponsor, you're not going to, you're not, you know, back then you could do it with the corner gas station helping you out some, but those days are long past.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, my late model stuff, you know, the race in Florida, I've almost quit doing it just because, you know, pretty much just me and my dad funded. We got a body shop here, auto body shop that we run, and we just couldn't afford to run with some of the guys, you know, and we just kind of agreed that if we couldn't go to the track and know that we could win, then we were kind of just wasting our money. You know, it's not fun to go run 7th race in the late model race. So I've been trying to concentrate on the NASCAR stuff some, and spend more time on doing some marketing stuff than doing my late model racing, which I miss doing it. But you know, if you're going out there to run 10th, you know, you probably shouldn't be going. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with the late model stuff. And I mean, I love racing late models, but like I said, if you can't afford to do it right, then you're paying for it yourself. Probably should waste your time. So.
Are you going to try to take a late model to Daytona Beach in February for that battle at the beach thing they're doing on the backstretch out there?
Actually, I haven't even heard about that, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, NASCAR is doing on the Monday night and Tuesday night after qualifying weekend in February. They're making a 4/10 mile flat little short track over on the backstretch, right in front of the big Superstretch grandstand, and it's going to all be paved, of course. And they're going to run. Wheeling Modifieds will be there one night. K&N will be there one night, and they're going to have a late model race, a basic late model stock car race there on one of those nights. And I think it's, you show up and qualify if you can and race just like everybody else. So it's not a dirt track. It's a paved track. It's on the backstretch there. So
if it's late model stock that they're racing, then that's different than what we race down here in Florida. They don't run late model stocks down here. Those are mostly in the Carolinas. We run super late models, which are.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If that's what it is, I can't ruin it. But
yeah.
If it is the super late models, I'll probably check into it.
Now, what do you rate? Do you go to like Jack Speedway? Do you go to Jacksonville and race and places like that, or?
No, that's actually dirt. I race on asphalt.
Oh, okay.
So, you got New Smyrna. We used to have a track in Lake City, but they closed down. You got Orlando. Ocala was asphalt. They switched it to dirt. They had a track in South Georgia in Valdosta that was really nice. They run Peter's Cup racing and stuff there, and they actually shut down. So it's tough around here. I mean, most of the tracks shut down, and they only run late models once a month. Like New Smyrna stuff that they can't afford to pay at first, but I'm down there. So, even if I wanted to race more here, I could probably only race once a month anyway. So it's tough down here, and people just, with the economy it is, like it is everywhere.
Now, is Volusia County still asphalt, or is it dirt?
No, it's dirt. It's been dirt for a good while now. They actually only run that during ski week. So.
Right.
And they closed down for the rest of the year. They used to run, every weekend, but they just couldn't afford to do it. They just run during ski week. Now in New Smyrna, they have ski weeks too in February. It's 9 nights straight of racing. It's pretty fun, go watching and the beach.
All right, Fain, let's go ahead and let you get off here. We've got Luke Whitteker waiting out here on the other line here to pop in here. Go ahead and...
Hold on a second. Hey, Fain, I just found out Rick Wilson is from Bartow, Florida.
Bartow, yeah, that's down near Tampa down there, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's farther south than you. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and give another shout-out to your sponsors, and then we'll let you get going, and we'll start talking with Mr. Whitteker.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, just car40empire.com has been great to me this year and last year. And so we're going to do some stuff next year for sure. And thanks for having me on the show, and I'll definitely keep you in touch and let you know of our upcoming events.
No problem. Got you covered.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, Luke. We got Luke Whitteker on the line with us now.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. What do you think? That thing can't hear me?
Yeah, they can't hear you.
That green thing? That thing goes all the way when I talk. Anyway.
Now, Luke's from Canada, right?
Luke is from Ontario, Canada. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad to be on the show with you guys today.
Is it snowing up there yet?
No, I don't think so. We're still sitting here in 20-degree weather.
Are you going to have a hockey season?
No, I think that's out of the question now.
Already?
Yeah, well, Mr. Bettman there decided that we weren't going to play hockey this year, so I guess we have another lockout again, just like we did back in '04.
What are you guys going to do without hockey up there?
I have no idea what we're going to do.
You'll have to drink more Moosehead.
Oh, jeez.
Isn't Moosehead beer a big thing up there? I think Carling. No, Carling's a big beer.
I guess not really. I don't know.
Okay.
Beer, I guess. I don't know. I'm not supposed to comment on that stuff on the radio, right?
Oh, okay.
You can do whatever you want. We don't care.
I know that Carling, the guy who owned Carling Brewery, had a daughter who was a very, very good professional tennis player. I think her name was Bassett, Carlin Bassett. John Bassett was her husband, her father. Anyway, he owned the Carlin Brewery up there. Anyway.
All right, Luke, let's go ahead and get a quick bio. Tell everybody where you came from, how you got to where you are, and what you got looking at in the future possibly.
Right. Well, first of all, my hometown is Iroquois, Ontario. It's far eastern Ontario, close to the Quebec border, and I pretty much just grew up driving four-wheelers and stuff around the yard. My family had no racing background whatsoever, and I got into dirt go-karts, WK style. There's all kinds of tracks around the area. I raced them 4 times a week, and for about 4 years, and that's what I was into heavy. I guess I caught the bug and couldn't stop with that, so I moved up into dirt sportsman modified ranks, and that's where I was for 2 years. Didn't find much success, I guess, and jumped up into 358 modified on dirt as well. And my first year, I guess I blasted out my rookie season and won 5 races, and just had a really good time actually, and the most fun racing there, and that's what I continue to do now. Also, last year I got into the school called Race 101 down in Denver, North Carolina, and I spent time there during the off season. We go down about once a month for the weekend. We take in-class courses, and they train us on marketing and media, and as well as the mechanical side of things. We also did one test session in the house car, Race 101 late model on asphalt at Hickory, and after that, basically, one person got chosen out of the class of people, which was about 15 people, I believe, and I happened to be that person, and the winner got a chance to drive the Race 101 house car for 3 races at a racetrack that would fit the racer's abilities. And I was a Race 101 premier driver, and that's what I've been doing lately, is back and forth from North Carolina to race the 101 car at Southern National Motorsports Park, and I'm excited. I'm actually going down there this weekend, leaving tomorrow, and we're going to go down and do a practice on Friday and race Saturday, so it should be fun.
Cool.
So he'll be coming close to here. So it's in Kenley, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
And that's what, about 3 hours south of here, 2 hours south?
And let me tell you something here now, and I've been doing this a long time. There's only one rule of thumb, and I'm a media guy. I've been a journalist covering the sports since '69, so I've got a few years on me. Here's what you have to do. 2 things you got to remember. Never, ever talk to a reporter with your sunglasses on.
Right.
Because most of us think that if a guy is going to cover his face with his sunglasses, he's probably not telling the truth. So it's very polite. If you notice on TV, Carl Edwards may be the only guy out there who makes it a point of taking his sunglasses off when the interview starts. Now he may have them on when the camera cuts on, but as soon as the first question is asked, he'll take his sunglasses off. That to me as a journalist, that is very impressive. That's something you should remember. The other thing you should remember is, if you can, and it's not easy, if you can, when a reporter introduces himself to you and begins to ask you questions about your career or what happened, at some point during your answer, include his name. Say, well, Al, the right rear went down. I didn't mean to hit him. And anyway, it lets the reporter know that you're respectful enough of the reporter's job to have remembered his name when he introduced himself. And that's a very small point, but as a long time media guy, that's very important. And they may not have taught you that at that school you went to, but believe me, after 43 years on the beat, that's something that I have picked up, and it would do well if you remembered that. Okay?
Well, actually, yeah, we were taught all that stuff, but I mean, it's great to always have a reminder reminder, and you're exactly right about the name thing. And it's always good. I mean, your reporters and your media people are your best friends, especially when you're trying to climb the ladder and go up the ranks. I mean, that's a really big help if they actually want to help you as a friend, and they'll follow you as well.
So I assume that you're flying down here. You're not driving, I hope.
No, we're flying down.
Okay. Flying into Raleigh maybe, or Charlotte, something like that?
Yeah, we're going to fly into Charlotte, I think, and then we're going to drive.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Kenley's a Southern. It used to be called Southern National. I guess it's got more names to it now, but that's a terrific racetrack. You'll like it there. That's really where Southern National is kind of where Denny Hamlin began to make his name. He raced here locally in Hampton, Virginia, at Langley Speedway, and he raced at Southside in Richmond and South Boston in Virginia. But I think Southern National is where Denny really kind of began to build his resume, and look where it's got him. So if you can do well at Southern National and Kenley, you can probably do pretty well anywhere.
Right. Well, I've already done. Actually, unfortunately, my first race that I was supposed to have there got rained out, but I did make a lot of practice laps. And back in July, I managed to complete a race. I finished 10th out of a 20-car field. But I mean, I guess it was a good performance for my first time on asphalt. But I don't know. I'm still looking to improve. So that's one of my goals for this weekend when I go down is try to figure out how to improve and maybe even break a top 5 finish.
Let me ask you something. In America, in the Southeast where we are, young men who start driving race cars grow up and they idolize Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty and Cale Yarborough and David Pearson. I would assume that young men growing up in Canada, Ron Fellows is a pretty big. Ron Fellows is a fairly impressive man to kind of follow if you can. He's a road racer, sports car guy, but certainly you've heard of Ron Fellows. Gilles Villeneuve and Jacques Villeneuve, obviously Formula One open wheel guys. You've certainly heard of them, but who in Canada among stock car racers do you sort of look forward to being the next one? Do you know what I mean?
Right. Well, you know what? Going back and forth, and I mean, we're pretty close to the New York border right here where we are, actually, and I mean, it's all the same, I think. There's really no difference. I mean, there's no arguing that Ron Fellows is a great driver, but as you know, growing up, I always idolized Dale Earnhardt Sr., and of course, I like Dale Earnhardt Jr. now for that fact, but yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty much all the same. I don't really like to think. I guess you'd like to idolize a person like that, but I mean, in the end, I just kind of want to make it my own. You know what I mean? I want to blaze my own path and sort of make a name for myself. So that's one of my goals, anyway. Okay,
yeah. I didn't know whether the Canadian people are so proud of their heritage, and Wayne Gretzky's a national icon, and you know, and I didn't know whether there was a race driver in Canada of Canadian origin that you looked at and thought of as, man, that's, you know, he was my countryman. He's the guy that I should emulate or kind of pattern myself after. But I guess if you live close to upstate New York, I guess the Bodine brothers are probably as close to you as anybody from that regard. I was in New Hampshire over the weekend, and now, have you ever run any of the American Canadian Tour races?
You're like as far as asphalt?
Yeah, the ACT races. Yeah.
Like I'm actually a dirt driver. Like I don't. The only thing I've ever done on asphalt is just that one race at Southern National.
Oh, okay.
I have no asphalt experience whatsoever. Like I said, I drive dirt 350 modified. So it's kind of like having you know, like split personality racing. So.
Okay. I know that in upstate New York, there's a ton of dirt tracks. A lot of them are very famous. So, but Now, let me ask you this: how old are you? I don't know if we got that yet.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I should have said that in my bio. But, I just turned 19 there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got plenty of time. If you are deeply committed to this stuff, have you talked with your family about ever maybe relocating to North Carolina? Because you don't have to live down here, but it certainly helps. Is that a possibility down the road?
I mean, we'll keep all doors open as far as that way, but I mean, for my future right now, I can't see myself ever moving down there. Just trying to take advantage of every opportunity I got around me. The thing is I think that it's important to stay in your bounds of your own, in your own bounds. So, like, I don't want to, I was listening to the driver that was talking earlier, and he was saying about possibly not being able to afford to drive the late models just because, you got to have every bit of money into it, because if you don't, the other guys do, and then you're already behind the 8 ball. So keeping all your money and putting it into something that you can win at and you can't afford to win at, then I think that's what we're trying to do with our program here. So.
Well, believe me, and I've been doing this a long time, you will be amazed at where you might find an opportunity that you didn't know existed. It might be that you are somewhere and you bump into a team owner and you exchange business cards, and maybe someday, 6 months later, he'll call you and say, hey, you want to try out for my ride? I mean, you never know exactly where things are going to come from. There's a story that some people know, many don't. The fact that Denny Hamlin was actually serving as a coach, as a mentor to some Joe Gibbs Racing young prospects. And they asked Denny Hamlin to come in and set up some some asphalt late model cars. And they asked Denny to kind of be sure that the cars were all pretty much the same, because they wanted these young men who were candidates for Joe Gibbs Racing to get a fair shot. Well, Denny set the cars up, and after they ran a while, he got in one of the cars and said, well, let me see what I can do with it. And as it turns out, Denny Hamlin was way, way faster than any of the drivers that Joe Gibbs had hired to be a developmental driver. And so they hired Denny instead of the guys that they had at the combine. And you know where that's led. The point being, you never know what you're going to run into. You never know who you're going to find or who you're going to meet that may offer you an opportunity. So you got to be ready all the time. And people say, well, how do I get started? How do we get started? You race locally and hope somebody sees you. That's about the best way it happens. Are you aware of this NASCAR Drive for Diversity program?
Yeah, I do know about it.
Okay, it would really be helpful if you could ever get involved with that deal. Now I know they go out and search for people. I think they've had Canadian drivers. I know they've had Mexican drivers. I think they've had some Canadian drivers that maybe tried that thing. But anyway, there's an opportunity for you. So, don't give up. You never know where you're going to find an opening, and when you get there, you really got to kick the door open, because they're not going to give you too many chances once they give you the first one.
Yeah, that's for sure. You got to take advantage, like I said, of every opportunity you got and try to make the most of it. And you do mess up, learn from your mistakes, and apply for the next time.
You may have heard the story that Carl Edwards, when he first got out of college, he simply handed out business cards. He went to every dirt racetrack he could find in Missouri and handed out business cards saying, I'm Carl Edwards, I'm a race car driver, call me if you need a ride or if you need a driver. And, who knows how many he gave out. But somebody found one, thought it was an interesting way to promote yourself, and I think recommended him to somebody who recommended him to Jack Roush. and we know where that's led to. So hang in there.
Never know.
Yep.
We'll go ahead and let you get going, Luke. Go ahead and give a shout out to your sponsors again, and we'll let you get back to your activities you got going on up there.
All right. First of all, I'd like to thank Storm Realty. They're my main sponsor for this past year, and I'd also like to thank RustCheck, Toy Storage, EWJ Harvesting, Parcel Products, and ET Performance. And I'd just like to thank all my crew members for helping me out this year. It was a good year, and I hope everyone had fun. So thanks a lot, guys, and thanks for having me on the show.
All right.
Have a good one. Be safe.
I'm sure I'll meet you somewhere. Remember, no sunglasses, and remember the guy's first name.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Pretty nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
I didn't hear no A's, though.
Yeah, well, I got a couple little Canadian accents in there. Yeah. But how are they going to live without hockey? I mean, my God. It'd be like us trying to live without football,
I'll tell you.
which we have been for a while here, it seems like. But the new refs are supposed to be back next week. They were close to an agreement this afternoon. I don't think they're going to come back this weekend because then some teams will have had them under new refs, and teams that played Monday and tomorrow night will have had them under the old refs. I think they're going to wait until after this weekend and then bring in new refs for the week after that. The weekend I'm at Talladega.
Why can't they ever be happy with what they have set up with all the referee issues and player issues? I mean, God, some of these guys get paid more than you and I'll ever see.
Yeah, and that's not enough. They want more. They want more. I mean, why do race drivers change rides? Not because, I don't think for a second that Matt Kenseth is thinking he's going to a better car than the one he's been in for the last 10 or 12 years. He's probably getting more money.
Yeah.
Now, Allmendinger left Petty last year to go to Penske for money and a better ride, but generally it's money.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing, Joey?
Oh, doing great. Running around like crazy today. I thought everybody quit at 5, but apparently we're running a little late tonight.
Uh-oh. We've got Joey Coulter on the line with us now. You got myself and Al Pearce from Autoweek Magazine here, and we're going to have some fun with you.
All right, sounds like a plan to me.
And you're going to Las Vegas this weekend.
Yeah, leaving, getting on the plane tomorrow.
All right, big question. All right, ready for this?
I'm ready.
How many In-N-Out burgers will you eat?
Just one.
Oh, man.
Here's the deal. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this because the last time I was there, I had not known about the secret menu that you
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
places.
Don't reveal it on the radio. Don't tell everybody.
No, but now that I'm prepared, now that I have all that information in a sealed briefcase, I'm excited because I'm gonna try something a little crazy when I get out there. So I'm excited for that.
One of the best reasons for going to Vegas is In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, it's funny because in Vegas, In-N-Out Burger, anytime you go on the West Coast, that's one of the places
Right.
you see it the most because they're smaller.
Yep.
You don't spread out as 15,000 race teams in a tiny little restaurant. But that's the funny thing because there's some racetracks, and like I said, In-N-Out's one of them. But you go there, and as soon as you get off the plane, you think, hey, I'm going to follow all these rental cars. They're probably going to the racetrack. They're not. They're going to In-N-Out.
In-N-Out Burger, exactly, yeah.
It's kind of funny to see.
I told people years ago that one of the perks of going to Phoenix is that you get In-N-Out Burger, and I know this for a fact. I know that there are teams who send a guy from the racetrack, which say 50 laps to go. They'll send a crewman with a big cooler to In-N-Out Burger, and he will buy enough burgers to take on the company plane back to the guys who are at the shop waiting the next morning for breakfast.
Wow.
And they Phoenix, for the time change, when the plane gets back, it's probably, I don't know, 4, 5, or 6 in the morning,
Yeah.
and the day crew is probably on their way to the race shop, even though there's nobody there yet. And when the plane lands at Concord, whatever team we're talking about, the guy takes that cooler full of burgers and fries to the shop, and these guys who don't ever travel get to enjoy In-N-Out Burger. So
Yeah.
So anyway, that's one thing you got to remember, and the other thing is, if you're going to gamble, you're going to lose. You know, they didn't build all those casinos on losing money; they got it on from people like you. So be careful.
Exactly. One of the funniest gambling stories I got was last year. You know, I was racing with Austin in the truck series, and we went to the casino out in Iowa. That's the first time I ever gambled. And so we go out there, and we win. I won like a few $100. I think Austin won a few $100. We were all pumped up. I was like, man, this gambling thing's cool when you win. And Richard called, and Austin, you know, was telling him, yeah, we didn't see Joey toward the casino tonight. And Mr. Childers says on the phone, he says, well, I just drove by and the lights were still on, so y'all must not have hit him that hard.
I will see Richard on Friday at Dover. I will remind him that there's a casino in Dover that he better behave himself. So
Yeah, lights are still on.
yeah, yep. And they will be on for as long as we live.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Let me ask you about the truck series now. There are many of us that I've been, just so you'll know, I've been covering NASCAR since 1969. I remember when Richard Childress was driving the Kansas Jack number 3 car. So I've been around a while. I've seen the truck series come in, and a lot of big-time owners had trucks because NASCAR wanted them to. But that series has developed into the most physical series of the big three. You guys don't mind leaning on each other. You don't mind getting up in each other's grill a little bit. Are the trucks that tough? Are they that durable and resilient that you can beat and bang on them that much and still drive them pretty well?
Yes and no. It depends. Place like Martinsville, yeah, definitely. I think they're built. You know, with the bumpers being a little bit flatter up front, you can do some banging. You know, the quarter panels are bigger, the doors are a little bit taller. So I mean, you can short track. You can definitely bump and bruise some more. And the bigger tracks, it's a fine line. Those trucks at the 1.5 miles, they live and die by downforce and drag. And if you mess up one or the other a little bit too much, you've got yourself a handful. So I mean, there's a point where it can hurt you. You know, I can tell you, we don't go out there with the mentality of we're going to run each other over all night. I think what causes the extra little bit of contact sometimes is you just have to drive them so hard to make them go really fast because of all the drag and you know, the lack of horsepower with that spacer. You know, the drag horsepower is almost upside down. So you really have to drive them hard, and I think that, you know, that's what makes it look like we're a bunch of maniacs because we got to drive hard.
What is the absolute best racetrack for trucks? And I've never driven one, obviously. I would think that Richmond and Iowa might be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you said Iowa, because I'm not going to disappoint you. I think Iowa is a great racetrack.
Okay. Now you raced at IRP, obviously, when trucks were out there, weren't you?
Yep, yeah, that was another.
That's another. Yeah, I was thinking that's Iowa and Richmond and IRP might be really good for trucks.
Yeah, I think you know, the thing I like about Iowa, and I've never been to Richmond, but just based off of what I've seen, it looks pretty similar. You know, it's fast enough to where your top speeds and everything are there, but at the same time you kind of drive it a little bit like a short track. So you get the little bit of extra bumping and rubbing, and you know, you're off the gas, on the brake. You know, you kind of get a little bit more action.
Now, after this weekend, do you guys go to Talladega?
Yeah.
Next week, 2 weeks. Okay. Boy, that's not much of a turnaround. You got to leave Vegas on. Y'all race in Vegas on Saturday or Sunday?
We're in Vegas Saturday.
Okay.
I think it's like 8:30 Eastern time.
And then come back to Talladega the following Friday, maybe, or Saturday.
I think that's correct.
Okay. All right.
I'm a driver, man.
I know the hauler drivers know all that more than you guys do.
They throw you on a plane, say, "Hey, we're going here.
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
sure you bring your driving seat."
Yeah. I guess I'm going to ask the question that a lot of people ask about racing a truck at Talladega. There's got to be a different mindset when you go through the gates at Talladega than, say, when you go through the gates at Iowa. Is it a deal where you're expecting the worst and hope for the best, or is it just another racetrack that you've got to get around like Daytona and Charlotte and some other places?
That's a tough question. I think definitely one of those places that you have the attitude where you're confident that you can run good, but you can't go in there assuming that things are going to come even close to falling in your lap. It's such a wild card race. I know we kind of, these last 6 races, that's the one circled on our calendar. We're either going to have a great day or we're going to knock ourselves out of possibly winning the championship. So, I mean, it's kind of a do or die race, I think, on our calendar. But you go into it like any other weekend. You don't put any extra pressure on yourself. You don't walk around worried about it. You just got to go get the job done.
Yeah, I must apologize. I do not have in front of me the most current Truck Series standings. So I know, well, Roger's going to bang them up here on the computer for me. I know it's awfully tight up near the top. Let me see here. I can't see that far. Anyway, and you got Vegas, Talladega. You don't run Charlotte this time. You go to Kansas City. Is that where you go to Kansas or not?
No.
No Kansas this time. And you don't go to you go to Martinsville this time?
Yep, we go to Martinsville. We go to Texas.
Okay, Texas, Phoenix, and then Homestead.
Yep.
So you got about 8 races left. Okay.
All right.
I think we got 6 left. We just moved into 5th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Just moved up to 5th.
We're at 46 points back.
All right. Well, 36 was what, 65 or 60? That's doable.
It's doable. It's going to be, it's not a cakewalk. I'd be much happier if we were, ahead by about, 200. But
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to these last 6 races with, I want to qualify on the pole, lead the most laps, and win the race. And just win every race. I mean, I know it's crazy that, that's kind of what we got to do, I think, if we want a shot at it. And we'll just see what happens. We're going into every race with the attitude that we need to win it, and we'll see what happens when we get to Homestead.
Yeah, you cannot control the people ahead of you. You can only control yourself, I guess. And your teammates leading, and Buscher's second.
Timothy's third.
Timothy Peters is third. He was leading for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Parker is fourth. And okay, you're fifth. Yeah, you can only control what you do. Like you say, if you win the pole, lead the most laps, and win the race, if you do it often enough, you're going to jump by all of them. So that's how you got to look at it. Let me ask you one more thing, and this may be an inappropriate question, but it would not be the first one I ever asked. Was it last year at Kansas when you and Kyle had the cool down lap bump?
Yeah, that was
Okay. From what I remember of that incident, you didn't think it was that big a deal. You didn't. I mean, you beat him on the last lap for what, 4th, I believe, 3rd or 4th. You beat him by 1 spot,
Yep.
and he. I don't know whether he didn't take it kindly or whatever, but the bottom line is, as I recall, you didn't think it was that big a deal, and your team owner did. And looking back on it now, was it that big a deal, or was it just something that Richard said, okay, well, I've had enough of this with this guy. I'm going to go settle this stuff by myself?
I think, it's funny because that race, that was only probably my, I'm trying to remember, that was probably my 5th or 6th truck race. So I was fairly new to these trucks, learning how to race these guys. Still on cloud 9 because I was 21 years old driving for one of the best teams in the sport. That was my first professional ride with a British Coulter, and that's kind proud of that. You know, that was kind of really cool. So I still kind of had that in my head and everything, and the fact that I was racing Kyle Busch with 10 laps to go for my first top 5 was a big deal, and then to beat him, I was so excited that we had such a good day that I totally forgot we ran into him by the time I got back around to pit road. But, you know, with everything with Richard, he's a very, very, very passionate person. You know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was his life, you know, and what happened had nothing to do with me. It was everything else that had happened, and, you know, I know that they sorted things out, and kind of for both of them, it's gone and passed.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It was definitely one of those things where I was so excited that we had such a good day that I didn't even think about it happen. I kind of didn't really know what was going on when he did it, but then by the time I got back around to pit road and did the TV interviews and stuff, I totally forgot about it.
Yeah. And I remember distinctly, you earned the position fairly. You didn't knock anybody out of the way. You didn't spin him or hit him. I mean, it was close. It was close, hard racing, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And I don't know that anybody, you as a newcomer or anybody, should ever apologize for racing hard. So I thought it was kind of cool that that the rest of the world made it out to be a big deal. And I remember you saying a couple of times on some interviews, it was just a little congratulatory bump. People do it all the time. So, and I know that Richard and Kyle are not on each other's Christmas list, but they certainly seem to be pleasant enough now.
Oh yeah. I mean, shoot, you never hear anything about it at the racetrack.
Yeah.
You know, that's the cool thing about you know, NASCAR and just about racing in general, stock car racing in general is you know, you're only mad at somebody for so long, and then eventually you kind of make up. So you're around those same people every week, and at the end of the day, everybody knows what everybody else's job is, and everybody's there to do it for a living. You kind of just totally get it. You know what I mean?
Well, have a good trip to Vegas. We will be watching on Saturday afternoon or Saturday night, whenever it is. I'll be in a motel in Dover. I will have it on, and I'll be watching your progress. And I will say, hey, I know that guy. I talked to him on the phone Wednesday night. So have a safe trip. Eat more than just one In-N-Out, though. You know, you go out there and only eat one is kind of a waste, I would think, but whatever.
Just do one before the race, and then we'll go back after the race. We'll have time after the race.
And the other place is, you may know about this, is a place in Phoenix up on the side of a mountain called T-Bones.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah, when you're leaving the racetrack going back toward town on Baseline Road, there's a steakhouse called T-Bones up on the side of the mountain under all those red lights. If you've never been there, Joey, you gotta go there also. Tell them you want to go to T-Bones for a steak.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
We'll talk. Oh, go ahead and do one last shout out to your sponsors, and then we'll let you go ahead and get out of here.
Just everybody that's been on the truck this year at RCR. We've had a bunch of really good ones. You know, Mama Cheese, Meatballs, Steakums, Armor. We're going to have Husky Armor stock on the truck at Talladega, which would be really cool. I don't know if they've given it away yet, but a couple of fans, I think, one from Texas, come hang out with us all day and sit. I'm looking forward to that. And then Steakums got another race with us, and looking forward to giving those guys a good rest of the year.
Hopefully, I'll get to run into you when I go out to Martinsville at the end of the year here.
All right, yeah, somebody say hi. We'll probably be over by the hot dog stand.
Yeah,
There you go.
Have a
I'll
safe
buy you a hot dog.
Have a safe trip to Talladega, to Vegas. I'm getting ahead of myself. Have a nice time in Vegas. Good luck to you.
Later, Joey.
That's good.
So, what's this thing about the In-N-Out? Because I have
man.
yet to go to Vegas.
In-N-Out burgers are by far, without question, the best burgers in the world. It's just, that's the end of it. That's all I got to say.
You said they're smaller? Are they like the White Castle
No.
burgers?
What he meant was the buildings are smaller. They're not gigantic, big. They're not terribly large buildings. So they only serve maybe 50, 60 people at a time.
Something
Maybe
like-
less than that.
Something like maybe a Whitteker or something like that?
Yeah, a little bit bigger than that, but about the same, yeah.
How do they compare against the Whittekers?
Oh, what did I tell you, Roger?
Okay.
They're the best in the world.
All right.
That's the end of the statement. They're better than Five Guys. They're better than Burger King and
I'm
all
not impressed
that
with Five
crap.
Guys.
Five Guys is okay, but In-N-Out Burger. And the beauty of In-N-Out Burger is the fact that you can't get them east of Texas. They are basically a southwestern, western phenomena. It's just like Coors beer used to be.
I was just thinking that because I remember when I was stationed out in Denver.
That's right.
we were
People
snacking
couldn't
Coors
get
beer.
Coors east of Denver, and that made it all the more attractive. You can't get In-N-Out burgers east of Texas. That's what makes them all the more attractive. So there you go.
Well,
Speaking
good.
of eating,
I know you're going to be hungry by now.
I am hungry already.
Aha. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for watching us tonight and catching us on the YouTube/Pitwall later on when we'll be having that archived for you. Till next week, this is Roger and Al Pearce. See y'all later.
I'll be in Talladega next week. I will not be here.
Okay. We always have a phone. All right, why are we not switching? Oh, there we go.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler Built Seats, Bell Helmets, Hooker Harness Seatbelts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, driving 42 car on the thing. Let's talk racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Let's Talk Racing is brought to you by PC Doctors, Computer Sales and Services. This doctor still makes house calls. And also Hampton Incredible Tees and Signs, both located at 1248 North King Street in Hampton, Virginia.